Hey there, guys and girls. Thank you so much for coming along or clicking on this video. Today we're talking about how to hit your macros dead on, your macronutrients. First things first, I do just want to introduce myself. My name is Jason. I am the director at ProFit Health and Fitness. Been in this industry very long time now. Just as recording this, we've just ticked over 17 years. In one way, shape, or form involved in the fitness world. So it's been a long, a long trek. Dealt with a lot of things over my time, depending, like anything from underweight to overweight. Currently working with back issues, so it's full on. You name it, I dare say that I've handled something along my journey anyway. But anyway, today we're talking macros and the easy way to hit your macronutrient targets. Now, this is not going to be a video as to how you can calculate your macros. That's we've already covered that in the previous video. But today is all about actually applying that and putting that into a meal plan. So look, I hope you get something out of this. Feel free to ask any questions along the way. If you're watching a recording of this, again, please feel free, type some comments in. We are quite active through the social media world, so whether it's YouTube or Facebook, Instagram, wherever you happen to see this video, please feel free, comment below, like it, share it, whatever you want to do, and we will jump on in. So bear with me, I'm just going to pull up my diary, my FitnessPal. I hope everybody can see that. I am basing this, as you can see, the date here, tomorrow. We're recording this on the 1st of March. So we're going to load in tomorrow's food diary. Now, again, you should know your numbers. If you're watching this and you don't know your macronutrient numbers, stop it now, flick back through our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see a video there marked something about how to calculate your macronutrients the easy way. But no, I've got my numbers written down. I know what they are. You should all know that by now. Total numbers for me, and that's what we're going to base this around. This is going to be my own personal, my personal diary here. You can obviously put your own little tweaks on it. There's nothing stopping you from copying it word for word, or obviously, again, whatever meals, if you don't like whatever it is I'm eating, please feel free to sub it out for something. But the principles are the same as to what we're going to take here. So as I said, if you've got any questions along the way, please feel free to throw anything up in the chat. Or speaking of which, I'm just going to find my chat. Chat, there we go. So chat box is open there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but anyone there, please feel free, throw any comments up, questions, whatever you've got, and we will cover that as we go. So as we said, I've got my numbers here. That's what we're going to base this particular one around, but you can obviously adjust it according to your numbers. Now, the first thing you want to try and do, is create your basic meals. So there's no, honestly, the only limit is your imagination here. Whatever you like to eat, throw it down, scribble it all down on a piece of paper. I'm going to skip that step today because guess what? I've already done it. I eat the same thing most days anyway. So basically you should have a piece of paper with meals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many meals you're having for the day, with roughly what you're going to have. So whether that's Weet-Bix with protein powder for breakfast, or dinner, you could have, I don't know, homemade pizzas or burgers or whatever it is. Have fun with it, use your imagination, and they should be meals that you're actually going to enjoy. Because guess what, if you don't enjoy them, it becomes a chore, and it becomes so much more work than it needs to be. This is an exciting time. Once you get your nutrition down, the results that you're after are just going to snowball from there on in. So I do hope that you get this, this nutrition. It is super important. It needs to complement your training, and your training needs to complement your nutrition. So you can't really have one without the other. Forget about the whole, 80% nutrition, 20% training. That's a load of crap. You do need 100% commitment to both. Now, let's jump in here. So basically what the first step you need to look at here is, once you've done your meal plan, is load in your protein. Your protein is going to be your go-to, your most important macronutrient that we can handle here. So with that, make some room up here so I can spread out a little bit. Okay, so hope this works well for us. So at the moment, I'm having 6 meals a day. So as you can see down here, I don't know why I'm pointing. I've got the arrow here. 6 meals, 5 of which are protein dominant. The 6th meal is a post-workout meal. Now we're currently in a progression season, so your post-workout meal will always be high carbohydrate, very little protein. Well, when I say meal, it's quite a lot smaller than every other meal. It's just to replenish the glucose stores. Now, I'll cover that when I get to the carbohydrates, but at this stage, you don't really have to worry about that and getting specific here. So let's dive in. Let's load our protein in. So number 1, as you can see, it's going to take its time. So I'm going to cheat here a little bit. I'm going to add protein for each meal. Sorry, meal 2. So I know basically what I'm going to have each meal. Meal 1, we're planning oats with protein powder and berries. Meal 2 will be ham, beans on toast with a little bit of chili sauce. Love chili sauce. If you can get your hands on some sodium reduced chili sauce, awesome. The body will love it. It's a great way to sort of get in some flavors and break down the chicken a little bit, as nobody likes plain old chicken, brown rice and broccoli. Not every day, at least. But as you can see, a lot of these meals are, they're meaty type meals, right? And meal 6, I say that nobody likes chicken, brown rice and broccoli, but I've got, where are we? A protein yogurt there as well. It's a protein source. I do have chicken and rice for meal 3. Now you notice I've skipped meal 4 here. That's the post-workout meal. Now, usually, I should explain, I usually train either in between meal 1 and 2 or in between meals 2 and 3. So this is a little out of order, seeing as it's not, I'm not going to call it a proper meal. It's just a bit of a refuel for glucose. So I can just slot that in a little bit higher in my day as we go through. So as you can see, our protein here is done. That's the main protein source for each meal. So meals 1 is the protein powder. As you know, I'm having oats for meal 1 anyway, so there's not a whole lot of protein. There is a little bit of protein in oats, but the bulk of my protein intake, comes from that protein powder. Meal 2, as we said, beans and ham on toast. Meal 3, this is the chicken, rice and broccoli meal. So the main protein source there is your chicken. Meal 5, I generally do like a savory mince, whether it's savory mince or a chili or something along those lines. Usually a little bit of rice. Depending on the day, I may swap the rice out for a slice of toast. If I do that, I do need to make some adjustments throughout the day. So generally I just stick with the rice. It's nice and easy. And meal 6 is my dessert. So that is, there's 2 main protein sources there, the protein powder and some high protein yogurt. Now, as you can see, my total here is 165. So that's just the main protein intake for the day is 165. However, my target, I don't know if you can see that up there, my target is 250 grams of protein. So why have we stopped at 165? Well, there's going to be protein source. There's going to be a protein from other foods as well. So we always go up to about, or in this case, about 60%, maybe up to about 80%, depending on who you are and what sort of macronutrient split you're running. I tell most people usually aim for about that 80% mark, and then you can make the adjustments accordingly. So now that we've got the bulk of that done, the bulk of the protein, and you'll see that bump up as we go. So again, on the same note there, carbs, we're sitting at 17 grams already, and fats, we've got 16 grams intake already. Now, a lot of those fats obviously coming from the red meat. Again, I mentioned to a lot of our team that you could have a couple of different days where, okay, I don't want mince for dinner, I'm going to swap it out for chicken. My second meal plan is actually chicken enchiladas for tea, so I can just cut and paste that meal. Again, I need to make some adjustments throughout the day to allow for the carbohydrate intake and that little bit of a tweak in the fats as well. So now that we've got the bulk of our protein done, we can look at our second most, well, I shouldn't say second most important, at the other important macronutrient here, in which case it will be fats. Now, fat is important. Fat as a macronutrient is super important. It does help with hormone balances, carries nutrients around the body, etc., etc. No, hair, skin, nails, all the fun stuff. And it's delicious. You know, fat's got this bad rap at the moment where everything should be low fat, when in fact it's not the case. We do need fats in the diet. So this is where we start to put our fats in. Now, my target for the day is 67 grams. So we're going to go through exactly what we did with our protein. Meal by meal, we're going to add the bulk of our fats in. So meal 1, again, oats with protein powder. My fat source is actually peanut butter, crunchy peanut butter. From there, we're going to add that. Just if you are a bit of a peanut butter fan, be a little selective. You can actually, there's places out there that will actually crush the peanuts in front of you and actually create the peanut butter right then and there as you wait. It takes about 2 minutes. It's a really cool process, just through a big mincer, I guess you could call it. And yeah, it's a really cool organic way to get hold of some good quality peanut butter. A lot of places, particularly the mass-produced ones, do put a lot of fillers in. Obviously, if you're going to go down that track, just look at the back of the container. You know, Woolies, Coles, Aldi, wherever you shop, even, you know, IGAs, whatever. Have a look at the back of the container. Read the ingredients list. If it is 100% peanuts, just sweet. Meal 2, I don't usually have any sort of dominant fat sources in there. A lot of it will come, as you'll see later on once we add the carbs, a lot of it will come from the beans. So we're going to skip over that one for now. Meal 3, this is a fun one. Now, this is what I mean, like chicken, rice, and broccoli, but you can have some fun. You can have, I have Kewpie mayonnaise. And if you've never tried Kewpie mayonnaise, you're missing out. It's absolutely delicious. Go get yourself some. I think Coles do it's half the fat as what you'd normally have in a bottle. So there we go. I think it's Coles. Let me know. Now, meal 5. Where are my fats coming from? Meal 5. I can't remember. So we'll come back to that one. And meal 6, I have some dark chocolate for meal 6 as well, which is, there we go, orange and almond. Delicious chocolate. As you can see, we actually shop at Aldi. So a lot of these are Aldi brands. The good thing about MyFitnessPal is it's got a barcode scanner. So you can pretty much just scan whatever and see if it comes in there. So same deal. Once that's loaded in, we scroll down to the bottom here. We can see our fat intake for the day is 44. Actually, just while we're down here, your daily goal, that's been set by MyFitnessPal. That is not something that I personally have set. Have a chat to your coach about your actual numbers. I just can't be bothered changing the numbers in MyFitnessPal. So I basically swap back and forth between MyFitnessPal to actually track my totals and our coaching app that we use that will have my actual targets written in. So fat content intake 44, my target 67. We keep referring back to this this piece of paper here with everything written on it. My targets anyway, that's about all I've got written on it. So 67, again, we've taken that up about 60 to 80% of our target for the day. Now, if you remember, our protein has also jumped up a bit too. We're now at 174. So there's a few little bits and pieces here. You know, there's a little bit in our peanuts, a little bit in our mayo, a little bit in our dark chocolate there as well. So that's, as you can see, it's slowly creeping up as well. So that's why we don't want to go right to the number, you know, before we start loading in everything. Okay, so 44's target, 44 intake, 67 target. So we've done protein, we've done fats. Now our carbohydrates. This is the fun one. Again, everybody's going to be different. As we said, this is a progression season for me, so my carbohydrate intake is a little bit higher. Come depletions, deficits, you know, whatever we work with on the way to our comp this year, that will obviously drop down. Now, if you're stripping weight, obviously carbs are going to be that little bit lower. At this stage, my carbohydrate target, is 520. So just from adding proteins and fats, we've already got 36 grams of carbohydrates. You can see down the bottom here. So this is where we add in the fun stuff. So meal one, pardon me. Every time I drink or eat or anything like that, always have a cough. I have no idea why. What are we looking for here? Oats, carbohydrates, that's what we're after. I may as well add my coffee in here as well. So 1.5 teaspoons, that's just black coffee. Obviously, if you're gonna have a white coffee or if you add a sugar with your coffee as well, you need to add that in there as well. But there are no calories in black coffee at all, so I can just add that in whenever. So I can add that in right now. Meal two, these are the beans and what have we got? Beans and toast. So add checked in there. Excellent. So meal two is pretty much done. What in the world has happened there? I scratched that. Meal two is not nearly done. Let's have another go at that one. We've got our ham, we've got our bread. We need our beans. There we go. 8 beans. That's more better. All right, so meal two, now we can say it's nearly done. Okay, meal three. So again, we've got our protein, we've got our fats. We're gonna add our carbohydrates, which in this case is basmati rice. Now, obviously, as you go to load it in, it's gonna take a lot of time initially, but once you do get the bulk of it down, it's just a matter of cutting and pasting, just what I'm doing now. Like this is the cheap version. This is all in my previous recent foods or whatever they call it, food database, I guess. I'll come back to meal four. Again, as we said, that's my post-workout carbohydrate refuel. Meal five. So we've got our mince, that's our fats. So we're going to look at rice and the chili con carne recipe base, the diced tomatoes. That's pretty much all we need for that one. So nice and easy. Meal 5, so that's pretty much done. Meal 6. Now meal 6, as we said, is dessert. So our carbohydrates need to fuel. Don't be afraid of carbs at night. It really depends on when you train. Me training pretty early in the morning, as we said, between meals 1 and 2 or between 2 and 3, I can afford to have higher carbohydrates the night before, which means meal 6 is going to be mango. Where is it? Mango pieces. And there we go. So that's meal 6 done. Right. While we're here, let's talk meal 4. Now, I say meal 4, post-training meal. So we're going to add this one here. We're after super simple, quick sugars, something just to get into the bloodstream super quick. So all that is rice cakes and honey. That's it. That's all that refuel is. As you can see, it's only 400 calories versus 660, 675, 700, 700, and then dessert at 450. So it's a refuel. And once I've had that meal 4, or the rice cakes and honey, I'll leave about an hour, hour and a half or so, let that get back into the bloodstream, and then I'll add the protein and the fats. Usually that's meal 3, which is the chicken breast and the what's it called? Rice. Bit of a brain blank there. Okay, so that's pretty much the bulk of that done. Now, as you can see, we go through and we look at our numbers. 247 protein, our target was 250, so we're not far off there. Fats, 62, our target was 67, again, pretty close. And our carbohydrates, 502, our target was 520. So we're within striking distance from everything here. Now, when you go to do this yourself, have a bit of a play with your serving sizes. Don't be afraid to take things to the gram. What you can actually do here is, that's why meal 6 is so, well, between meal 6 and the peanut butter I have at meal 1, a quick tip is just to have something that you can grab at the end of the day that you can take to the gram. So whether that's peanut butter, I plan mine in advance. So peanut butter for meal 1, I can manipulate that quite easily. If I'm planning on having a few extra fats throughout the day, I can just drop some peanut butter. Or if, like I said, if I swap out my mince for my chicken enchiladas, chicken breast is always a bit leaner than red meat, so I can add some peanut butter to meal 1. Or I may want to stick with maybe like a sour cream or an avocado or something for the enchiladas. So I don't know, have some fun with it. But the point is, have something at the end of the day where you can take to the gram. So peanut butter, in this case, meal 6, protein powder, or mango. So fats, proteins, and carbs. Something that you can manipulate and get those numbers dead on. So looking at this, we're still a little bit out. We'll jump back on track here. We're a little bit out of whack. So we're still a few grams short. So looking at what we've got in front of us here, there's not a whole lot of fruits and veg. There's mango meal 6. That's about it. So now we can just bulk it up with our fiber. Fibers and fruits, vegetables, some colors. So meal 1, we're going to add some fruits. Usually that for me is blueberries. Where am I looking? There we go. And same deal. Like, don't be afraid of frozen fruits. You know, there's no point spending $20 a kilo on you know, a packet of fresh blueberries if they're going to sit in the fridge. If you're only having 50 grams every day, you know, they're going to go off. Okay. Meal 2. What have I got in meal 2? I haven't got anything in there for meal 2. You could add you know, if you wanted to spend a bit of time, maybe some fried mushrooms, some spinach or something like that, just to bulk it up there. I'm going to keep that quite basic at the moment. Meal 3, this is the fun stuff. We're going to add broccoli, just a cup of broccoli, give it some color. Meal 4, we're done on meal 4. Meal 4 is complete. Meal 5, this is our mince or our chili or whichever option we've chosen for. We're going to add, again, just frozen veggies. We don't go through mass amounts of veggies, so it's not really worth us buying, you know, fresh vegetables every couple of days. I want to stay away from the shops as best I can. Frozen mixed veggies. So yeah, just 100 grams on each serve. I think that's, oh, and some mushrooms. I have some mushrooms in there as well. Excellent. So that's pretty much done. So we're pretty close to it. 254. Fats could probably come up a little bit, and carbs we're 2 grams over. I'm not going to stress over 2 grams. If you're happy to be getting on stage, competing, bodybuilding, physique, bikini, whatever category you're after, yeah, take it to the gram. But as far as general population is concerned, 2 grams over is not going to break the bank. I think that is all about that. The next thing I will say though is to add some flavors. I mean, have some fun with sauces. It's, you know, like I said earlier, it's all about enjoying the process and enjoying, you know, if you make it a chore, you're not going to stick to it. So the only thing I'm going to add here, meal 2, I'm not going to put my chili sauce in. I could do that. It just means I might have to drop a couple of extra carbs, but that's an easy one. I could maybe take my mango down to, instead of 250 grams, I could maybe make it 240 grams. I don't know, something like that. That's the sort of tweaks that you can make there. I am going to add meal 3. I'm going to add some soy sauce because who doesn't love soy sauce? So 20 mils. That's all I need there. Happy days. And that is nutrition done. We've pretty much covered everything. Protein 256. So I could probably drop that a little bit. You know, actually, I'll cover that now while we're going. 6 grams over is a little bit high, I admit. So what we look at is where is a lot of that protein coming from? Now, we run down the totals for each meal. So the protein target here. Let's go. So 47, 41, 54, 6, 66, and 42. So the obvious choice there is meal 5. It's quite high in protein there. A lot of which is coming from the mince, but okay, look, you know what? Let's lose a couple of grams of rice, see what that works out at. Let's take it back to, let's say 60 grams. There we go. So what were we? Meal 5. That's taken it back a gram. It's dropped a fair bit of carbs though. So we tried it. It didn't really pan out for us. So we can take that back up to 70. Actually, we'll make it 65. It's just, I know those carbs are a little bit high at the moment as well, which should bring us pretty close, about maybe 518 or so. There you go, 519. And protein, still at 255. Not overly concerned about that at this stage. It could be a simple matter of lowering my protein powder. See, there we go. At the end of the day, you know, I'm still going to have a decent amount of protein coming in from meal 5. That will see me through meal 6 as well. So I can afford to drop a few grams of protein powder there. So we're looking at 20, so roughly, so 20 grams of protein powder, protein in 24 grams of protein powder. So we want to lose 5. So after about 3/4 of that, here's my math. That should take that down to 18 grams. So 18 serves of 1 gram. If you've got a little, so you can see serving size is usually 30.1 grams, or I usually set everything to 1 gram. And then from there, we can just add 18 serves of 1 gram, gives us 18 grams. It's, you know, I do enough counting through the day, and my team always have got me about how crap it is, or how crap my counting is. So I try not to do much in my free time. So there we go. We've dropped our protein powder down. Where is it? There we go. 18 grams. It's taken that down to 15. Our target, dead on, 250. Carbs could probably come up 2 grams. I'm not overly concerned about that at this stage. Fats, and remember our target was 67, so we're 2 down on that as well. So all in, we're not looking too bad. It's a pretty well balanced day, actually. I'm really happy to stick with that, just to have these totals here. As you can see, total here is 3,719. That's your total calorie intake. I don't want anybody dwelling on actually hitting their calorie target. I want you to focus more around your macronutrients, so proteins, carbs, and fats. They're the numbers that you need to hit. Well, if you hit them correctly, you'll be able to hit your calorie goal correctly, because calories are made up of proteins, carbs, and fats. So don't focus so much around the total calories. Focus on the macronutrients, and your calories will just take care of themselves. So there we go. That's basically the easy way to set up your meal plan. Went a little bit longer than I first imagined, but hey, you know what? So be it. I hope you got something out of that. Again, if you do have any questions, concerns, anything at all, please feel free to reach out and shoot me a message. You know, I'm here to help. So take full advantage of that. Again, everybody's numbers will be different. So play around with it. It will take a little bit of getting used to initially, but once you do wrap your head around it, it's going to be absolutely amazing, and the results will come thick and fast. So there we go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for, I don't know how long this video has gone. But hey, you know what? I hope you get something out of it. Advice is free in my book. It shouldn't be, nobody should be charging for advice. But you know what? There you go. Any dramas, sing out, and we can help you out. Thanks again, guys, and we will chat to you again very soon.